What's going on, everyone? It's your favorite blind guitarist. Today I'm going to be talking about how you can develop good vibrato and good phrasing when you play a solo. So, I've seen a lot of people play solos and have incredible technique, be able to pick things extremely fast, but when it comes to the ending of their phrases, it's that right there. So they could be playing a whole lick, but have no ending to it, have no vibrato at the end of a phrase. And if you don't have vibrato at the end of a phrase, it kind of kills your phrase because there's not a lot of life to the notes. Now, that's not to say that you have to, put vibrato at the end of every note you play. But it is important to really have good vibrato and really understand, how to develop that, how you can, add that as a tool. If I could choose one technique to have as a guitar player, it probably would be vibrato. I'd forget all the speed, forget everything else, just have good vibrato. So anyway, what I'd like to do is show you how to develop good vibrato and then show you a few types that are available to us as guitar players. So one of the ways that you can start off doing vibrato would be to just take a note and then so this type of vibrato, you're just bending the note like that. So it's actually just taking your target pitch, bending upward, and then back down. So slow, it would sound weird. It would be like that. But once you learn to control that, it's so that would be considered a good vibrato. Now, everyone has slightly different speeds, of vibrato that they like to work with, and people like B.B. King, obviously has a different vibrato than Jimi Hendrix or Steve Vai or Paul Gilbert or any of those guys. So you're gonna have different vibratos, just as a result of just being a different player, of course, and things that you like. But you do want to make sure that it's controlled, and not something weird like something like that. And most people don't naturally do that, but that was actually bending the string in one direction and coming back up in that direction. So you definitely don't want to do that. That's just weird. But yeah, for most vibratos, it's going to be something like that where you're bending in one direction. So that's one type available to us as guitar players. Now, if you listen to what that does to the pitch, it takes your target pitch and isolates it into an upward position and back down to the target pitch. So it's up and back down. So that's a little different than when you bend a string and do vibrato. So for example, when you bend up a note like this, like in some kind of blues run, what happens to your pitch, it's no longer isolated into an upward position like that. It's actually isolating below and above your target pitch. And so that's really the second type available to us as guitar players. And what that does is that actually emulates more of a vocal phrase rather than like just having the pitch in an isolated upward position. So I think that's the reason why a lot of these types of bends are pretty popular because of how the vibrato is different than just being isolated in one upward position. So anyway, that's the second type available, and again, just developing it kind of the same way that you would the first, Now, I mean, developing vibrato definitely takes some time, and you definitely want to listen to some players that you're interested in and try to emulate, a little bit of what they do. But I'd say this type is probably a little bit more difficult to get down because you're kind of also learning to bend strings and to kind of look at pitches there also. One thing about that type of vibrato is you normally can't get it unless you're bending a string. But if you have a bar, actually there's another way to get it too. But if you have a bar, like I have, like a trim bar that's floating, that you can pull up a little bit, you can get that type of vibrato where you're going above and below the pitch. Now again, that's more like a vocal or like a saxophone would do. Oops. Hit an open string there, sorry. So if you do have a bar, just start to incorporate that type of vibrato into your playing. What that's going to do is that's just going to help you build better phrasing, and just, again, the whole purpose is just to develop vibrato, and just, again, good vibrato, and anything that we can do that's going to help us create better phrases and better solos, we should definitely do it. Again, there is one other way that if you don't have a bar that you can do this type of vibrato, and that would be this way. Now this is a little bit different than the standard finger vibrato. Oops. Like that. The way that we're actually doing this vibrato is we're actually moving back and forth like that instead of up and down. So it's not a type that I use very often, but that is available, and it's very subtle too. And so if you want to add some subtle vibrato, that's a good way to do it as well. So anyway, give this a try and let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions, and feel free to subscribe to the channel.